Donald Trump's visit to here, the United Kingdom, this week. I'm sure by now you've seen pictures online, here on TikTok and various other social media outlets, of what was projected onto Windsor Castle last night. But did you realise they didn't just show a few pictures? They broadcast loudly over loudspeakers, along with the images, the whole story of Donald Trump. It was 9 minutes long, all projected onto that turret of the castle of Windsor Castle. Please, here you go. Watch it. Here it is for you in its entirety, and full credit to LED by Donkey, the people who did this. They are heroes. Check it out.
This is Windsor Castle, home of the British royal family, where Donald Trump is staying during his state visit. And this is a film about Trump's relationship with the world's most famous pedophile, Jeffrey Epstein. Their friendship goes back to at least 1992, when the two of them are filmed laughing together. Trump can be seen making friendly conversation with Epstein in between clips of Trump smiling and dancing with a group of young women at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida. The following year, they attend a cafe opening together. And a month after that, Trump invites Epstein to his wedding. In 1995, a young woman called Maria Farmer is working for Epstein in Manhattan. Late one night, she says, Epstein unexpectedly calls her to his offices, and she arrives in running shorts. Donald Trump then turns up, wearing a business suit, and starts to hover over her. Ms. Farmer feels scared as Trump stares at her bare legs. Then Epstein enters the room, and she recalls him saying to Trump, No, she's not here for you. The two men then leave the room, and Ms. Farmer says she heard Trump commenting that he thought Ms. Farmer was 16 years old. She says she later reported the incident to the authorities. Trump denies he was ever in Epstein's office. 1993 to 1997, Trump takes at least 8 flights on Epstein's private jet, according to flight logs released by the U.S. Department of Justice. The plane is later dubbed the Lolita Express, a reference to the character in the Nabokov novel by the same name, a 12-year-old child who is sexually abused by an older man. 1997. Trump and Epstein are seen together at 2 Victoria's Secret parties and are photographed together at Mar-a-Lago. The same year, Trump gifts a book to Epstein with the dedication, To Jeff, you are the greatest, Donald. 2000. A 16-year-old girl, Virginia Giuffre, is working in the spa at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. There, she is recruited by Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, to work as a personal masseuse for Epstein. The teenager will soon become, in her words, a teen sex slave and will endure years of sexual abuse.
I was recruited at a very young age from Mar-a-Lago and entrapped in a world that I didn't understand.
25 years later, Trump will acknowledge he was aware that young women were being recruited from Mar-a-Lago by Epstein.
Were some of them young women?
Well, I don't want to say, but everyone knows the people that were taken, and it was the concept of taking people that work for me is bad, but that story's been pretty well out there, and the answer is yes, they were.
Trump is then asked if one of them was Virginia Giuffre.
I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her.
2 years later, after Giuffre was recruited from his club by Epstein and Maxwell, Trump tells New York Magazine he thinks that Epstein is a, quote, terrific guy, and that they have known each other for 15 years. He's a lot of fun to be with, Trump says. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. 2003. Trump draws a message in a book made for Epstein's 50th birthday. The drawing depicts a woman's breasts and is accompanied by text written by Trump to Epstein that includes the line, quote, "We have certain things in common, Jeffrey," end quote. Trump signs off by saying, quote, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." A Donald signature is written in the place of pubic hair. 22 years later, Trump will begin legal action against the Wall Street Journal over their reporting of the drawing, claiming it doesn't exist. Epstein's estate then releases the drawing to Congress. Another entry in the birthday book contains a photo of Epstein holding a novelty check bearing Donald Trump's signature, along with a note suggesting Epstein, quote-unquote, sold Trump a woman for $22,500. It's unclear if the photo and accompanying note is a joke or not. 2004, the two men fall out, and their close relationship ends. The reason for their estrangement? They both tried to buy the same Palm Beach mansion. 2005, police in Palm Beach begin investigating Epstein after a 14-year-old child reports he molested her at his mansion. 2008, Epstein pleads guilty to state charges in Florida, including procuring a child for prostitution and solicitation of prostitution. The sweetheart plea deal, agreed by U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, includes a non-prosecution agreement giving Epstein immunity from possible federal charges. He is sentenced to just 18 months in jail. Under the plea deal, Epstein is allowed to be out of jail from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 6 days a week and has his own driver to take him to and from his office. 2010. In a legal deposition, Epstein is asked about his relationship with Donald Trump.
Have you ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump?
What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
By the way, this was around about the time that Prince Andrew was photographed walking with Epstein in Central Park. 2016. According to award-winning CBS News producer Ira Rosen, Maxwell confirms to him that Epstein secretly taped his famous friends, including Trump and Bill Clinton. February 2017. Donald Trump, now President of the United States, nominates Alex Acosta, the man behind Epstein's sweetheart plea deal, to be his Secretary of Labor. August 2017. Epstein conducts a series of taped interviews with the journalist Michael Wolff, research for a potential book Wolff hopes to write. In the interviews, Epstein claims Trump first slept with Melania on the Lolita Express and also says he was Trump's closest friend for a decade.
So how do you know this?
That was closest friend.
July 2019. Epstein is arrested in New York on federal sex trafficking charges. The truth about his decades-long history of child abuse is finally being widely reported. A month later, he is found dead in his jail cell. The authorities declare his death a suicide. 2020. Maxwell is charged with federal crimes for helping recruit underage girls for Epstein and participating in the abuse herself. Trump is asked about the charges and replies,
I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach, but I wish her well.
2024. Asked about whether he would release the so-called Epstein files, information about Epstein's crimes, and potentially his famous accomplices, Trump seems unsure.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
2025. Trump is now president again, and his administration blocks release of the Epstein files. It is soon revealed that his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, told Trump in May that his name is in the files before authorizing the release of a handful of transcripts only. Trump's one-time personal lawyer, now Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, then meets Ghislaine Maxwell in prison for 9 hours. Amid speculation of a quid pro quo to protect Trump, days later, Maxwell is moved to a low-security prison famous for its comfortable conditions and known as Club Fed. This is what we know. The President of the United States was a longtime close friend of America's most notorious child sex trafficker. He's alleged to be mentioned numerous times in the files arising from the investigation into that child sex trafficker. And now he is back in office. The U.S. federal government appears to be doing all it can to prevent the American public from learning fully about the president's relationship with the country's most notorious child sex trafficker. Now that president, Donald Trump, is sleeping here in Windsor Castle.